Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This is Lori. I'm still on my iPad. I do have a new MacBook, but I haven't figured it out yet, so just got it. So hopefully next time this will be easier for some of you to hear. I'm going to start off with a couple of quotes, and then I'm going to briefly talk about the astrology because something interesting is happening. There's always something interesting happening. I've read this quote before, but it's one of my absolute favorites. It's from the author G.K. Chesterton, and he said, "The way to love anything is to realize it might be lost." Truer words were never spoken, I think. And then this is from the poet Rumi. I believe I've read this one before too, but I love this also. "Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground." Okay, so we have the Sun in Sagittarius, and Mercury and Venus are still walking hand in hand through Sagittarius. They're up like in the 20s, 23, 21 degrees, something like that. And interestingly, tomorrow, at least in the U.S. here, that's Saturday. Let me see, today is Friday is this the 2nd or the 1st? I think this is the 2nd of December. So tomorrow is Saturday, December the 3rd here in the U.S. And tomorrow, I don't know exactly what time, Neptune goes direct in Pisces. And I think that should help in issues where you felt confused or, exhausted or just going around in circles, not sure what to do. I'm hoping that will kind of end that and bring us some good imagination energy. And anyway, I thought I would try something different tonight because I'm faced with kind of a dilemma. So I thought, what happened if I asked the cards? We all have issues in our lives where we are considering something and we're not sure what to do. And mine in particular has to do with helping someone, and I'm not sure what to do. So I thought if you could get a question in your mind, it can be an issue of helping someone else, or it can be concerning only yourself, but it's a question of like, how should I handle this issue? Not so much a yes or no, because the cards aren't really great at answering yes or no questions. They're more complicated than that, but it's kind of like, what are the pros and cons of this? How should I handle this situation? So think of a question you'd like to ask. And oddly, I drew 8 cards. The first 4 came in the upright. The second 4 all came in the reverse, as if the cards were giving me the pros and the cons, just as I just said. So anyway, do you have your question in mind, or it doesn't have to be a question, but like, something you're faced with where you're like, should I do this or should I do that? Or how can I help? What would be helpful in this situation? And if it concerns someone else, how can I help them? Okay, let's see. These don't look like they go to, this looks like a mashup to me, but I'm going to try my best. Okay, so first I drew, these are the cards that came out in the upright. And I started out with the Hermit. And this is just what it looks like. It's like seeking your own counsel, not, going online to find the answer or asking other people. It's going within and really contemplating, just seeking your own counsel and see how you really feel about this in your gut. And then I drew the 2 of Cups, which we have had like almost every time for the past, I don't know how long. And this is, it can be something romantic, but it can also just be a contractual agreement. So it's 2 people making a bargain and giving each other something. So definitely listen to other people. I just said don't listen to other people. But if you're trying to help someone else, or even if you're trying to help yourself, make sure that you're in a helping, loving frame of mind when you think about this. Think about, if it involves someone else, think about what's best for the other person. And if it involves you, think about what's fair for you. Then I drew the Page of Cups, which means this is usually a new feeling, like a very tender feeling or a small gift, and it needs to be nurtured very carefully in order not to be squashed. This is not something on the manifesting, like on the physical level. It's not a, it's not an earthly gift that someone's giving you. It's not a thought, it's a feeling, it's an emotion. And it may be something new that someone just said to you that you didn't know how they felt, or some new feeling that you didn't know how that you felt that way about this situation. But consider it. Then I get the Queen of Swords, okay? And she's kind of a double-edged sword because she's very rational and very thought-oriented. Swords are air and they're thinking. And she's all about, ideas, lofty ideas. But the downside to her, and she's in the upright, so this may not apply, but the downside to her is that she can get fixated on an idea and then not be willing to compromise. So just make sure that if you do come up with an idea, make sure that you're not just stuck with it and that you just say, nope, this or nothing, just this or nothing else, which kind of, again, goes against what I said about the hermit, about when I say don't listen to other people, I'm not saying don't listen to other people exactly, but I'm saying really, really sit with this in the silence. Really sit with this and go within before you make up your mind. Because an idea may come to you, but just be careful. Make sure that the idea, don't get stuck on the first idea and go, okay, I gotta have this, or it's just like this or nothing. But you may get some ideas. Okay, then these cards came out in the reverse. So we start out with the King of Cups, and he's all about feelings. He's mastered his feelings, okay? But in the reverse, he hasn't mastered his feelings. So you can get swept away and lose touch with reality if you go too much into the realm of feeling. So balance your feeling out on this matter. Balance it out with some thinking. Make sure that, if someone says, oh, I need this, or I really want that, or whatever, take their feelings into consideration, but don't be overwhelmed by your feelings. If you go within and really have an emotional response, just make sure you stay grounded in the, make sure there's some rationality and some logic involved. And then we get the Empress, who is, the mother and nurturing and growing things and manifesting and, just nurturing is the best word for her. But she's in the reverse too. So this is telling me that we don't want to be over nurturing. Curb your instinct to maybe try to over mother someone, or I almost want to say try not to save them. And if it's yourself, be kind to yourself, but watch out for overindulgence in your emotions. Just make sure you keep some rationality in this process. And then I draw the Four of Wands, which is generally a lovely card. It's, the portal of moving into a happier space. But again, it's in the reverse. So this is telling me that if we were hoping to move out of a situation into someplace different, that might not be as easy as we had hoped it would be, and the outcome may not be as happy as we thought it would be. So that's kind of a little red flag there for me to, if you think, oh, this will be great, this is all going to work out perfectly, maybe not. Okay, and then I drew the High Priestess again in reverse, and she is the subconscious. She's also, in a way, kind of a mothering principle, but she's more about what lurks in the subconscious, and going down and finding the darkness along with the light. And again, this is like she's got a light pillar and a dark pillar. This is like looking at both sides, and she's got the Scroll of Wisdom, but she's in the reverse. So first it's telling us to go within and get the answer. Then it's saying, be careful what you find in the subconscious. So it's almost like, how can I put this? I'm trying to understand this myself. It's almost like really think about this carefully before you do anything. Really sit with this. Don't just jump to action. But also be careful that whatever you're thinking about, make sure it doesn't trigger like old emotions where you want to save somebody or over mother or overprotect. You know, you need to stay rational with the Queen of Swords here. We need to stay rational and not over. You know, just watch out for whatever's in the subconscious. If you have a tendency to be too clingy, too mothering, too scared, whatever your tendency is on a subconscious level that sometimes trips you up, watch out for that in this situation. Okay, so so far I'm about as confused as I was when I went in here. Let me see if I can clarify some of this. This is some really interesting energy. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can clarify with a couple of oracle cards and see if we can sum this up. The never-ending story. Okay, so this is something you may have been through before. It's probably not something that's going to resolve itself anytime soon, or perhaps never. I know that sounds crazy, but it may be something where you really don't have control, and it's a spiral that you just need to sort of take one day at a time. And there may not be a definitive answer here. You kind of have, you know what I mean? Sometimes, okay. And then we get regeneration. Scorpio energy. We just came out of Scorpio season. Something new is being born out of the old, out of what has been burnt away. And we have the never-ending story. I'm going to be honest. These cards tonight are really throwing me for a loop because they seem to be contradicting themselves. I don't know if you feel that too, but I would say that this is always something new coming out of the ashes of something old. So it is possible that there's a way to think outside the box in this situation, and you're not stuck in the old. There is a way, even though it's the never-ending story. There may not be like the resolution that you hope for, where it's going to be just like, okay, problem fixed, problem solved. But there may be a way for something new to come out of this that you hadn't thought of before. I got to draw a fairy card and see what the fairies have to say, because my dilemma is extremely tricky. So I don't know what, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Okay, I'm going to draw a couple fairy cards. We get the blessing. I'll take it. Thank you. It looks like if we act from a place of love, which we definitely need to do with the Two of Cups, and be mindful of others' feelings, we will be blessed in this endeavor. There is a blessing to be found in this dilemma as well. There's something to be, so we're going to get something out of this. Okay, that card came out, but I didn't feel like the right one. Okay, I'm going to show both of them, even though one of them kind of felt like it kind of fell, but I'm going to show it anyway. Prick up your ears. This is the sensitive hair woman who, is listening very carefully, kind of the bug-eyed animal look, like, listen for what's being said under whatever you're hearing, or what you feel under what you're feeling. So you may have a little feeling come out with the Page of Cups, and then you may, with the High Priestess, you may discover, oh, this is coming from that old thing in the past that I always do. So just listen for what's underneath the feelings in the dialogue. And then lastly, but not least, we get the Magician. And she is capable of manifesting. And I'm going to just grab the book real quick to see what in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the Magician has all the 4 elements, and it's about literally manifesting, you know, whatever you, it's about trying, you know, you just like go for it. But I want to see in the fairy what it is. Fairy glamour, responsibility, and illusion. Okay, the Magician can make us believe anything. Is it real? Probably not. Does she have any real power? Who knows? If you want a bit of magic, a bit of fairy glamour, she'll create that illusion for you. She can make you believe that you are the most fascinating and attractive person in the world. She can make the person you are attracted to feel that way about you too, for a while. Remember, it's an illusion. When she walks away, and she will, she'll take that glamour with her, and you'll be left as you were before she came along. So it's your choice. Take her magic, use it if it helps you, but be ready to take responsibility for yourself and your actions when the glamour wears off. It's rather like luck. It can get you into an attractive situation, but only your skill and self-reliance can sustain the situation and turn it into something you can depend on. Okay, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. This card to me ties the whole thing together. So you may get a brilliant idea, and it goes along with your feeling, and it's what the other person wants, and it seems really great. And then when you examine it in the light of day, you're swept away by emotion. You're being too mothering, too nurturing. You think you're entering into, you know, the land of good and plenty, but you're not. And it's something in your subconscious that you have neglected that brought you here. So I see this as kind of a, it's really weird. This is a two-sided reading. You know, we've got something good coming out of this with regeneration, but we also have, there's not really a good answer with the never-ending story, and then we get the blessing. So there is something good in this. There is a blessing to be had, but just be careful. Just be really, really careful. I would say maybe take the middle path and don't go too far in one direction or another, because you may manifest something and then it flies out of your control. It may be too much for you to handle. Look at, you know, everything's like flying around, and she thinks she's got it all going on, and for a while she does, and then it could all just go bam. I've taken on too much. So that's my take on it. I hope that was helpful and not confusing. It was a little confusing, but I kind of get what it's saying. As usual, you know the cards, they're kind of like, they're not going to tell you definitely what to do, but they are definitely giving us a warning about taking on too much, I think. So think carefully, feel carefully, and consider other people's feelings. Okay, thank you so much. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons if you can find them on the new YouTube. And blessings. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.